Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, fam. Are we ready to rise and grind?
You're bad.
Yes.
I feel like the screen's weird. Okay, that's better.
Cut off.
Yeah,
Why-
Sue, Coyote, can you guys
There we
Oh.
go. That's
Stack.
better.
stack your
Look at
face?
totems.
I was about to say. So, welcome everybody to Rise and Grind on Thursdays. Today, we're going to bring on Peter from Near Week, talk about growing the Near brand and communicating it, among other things. And then we also have a technical analysis coming on by Monta Kieta later on. It's his sub show on Thursday, so do some price action. But in the meantime, it's actually been a relatively busy news cycle for Near. A couple of things going on in the ecosystem. Rim, do you want to kick us off with the most recent things?
Yeah, Coyote and I can go back and forth. We can start already with some Near news, like Ilya has a talk at Web Summit today. Near has been active at Web Summit. Right after NearCon in Lisbon, we've had a booth. We've had a talk from Ilya already. Someone from Mintbase is going to be at the NFT booth. And today, just an hour after our show, Ilya will be giving a talk called How to Open the Web with Blockchain. So that's going to be very exciting. If you haven't registered, register through this link. And then you can catch Ilya's talk, which is always really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you could watch it online, but you answered my question. So sweet. Yeah, so we do have a lot of news. Wow. We have the $10,000 in grants from Near. There's a referral.
Yeah,
Who's
refer and
referring?
earn. Yeah.
So yeah, if you know of any good projects, people that want to start up something, refer them to Near. There's funding there.
Yep, there's a good old referral. So basically, you can get up to $10,000 paid in Near tokens for referring a good project to the Near, to the Near ecosystem. This just came out. Well, it's just been out for a little while, but it hasn't gotten, I think, the publicity it deserves.
Yeah.
Ilya, this was an interesting one. John Smith joins Near as the chief security officer. So that's at least good for I think a lot of people in the space. They say, you can't take a project too seriously until it's time to hack. Well, basically, John Smith is there to make sure that we don't have a serious shutdown, a complete chain shutdown like has happened to other L1's ecosystems before. And so that's encouraging, making the right moves where need be.
Is that a pseudonym or is that guy's name unironically John Smith?
I don't know. I was thinking that too. I was like, that's pretty bizarre. Aurora.
They released that blog. It's an FAQ, frequently asked questions, about the IDO that's coming up this month.
Today, right? On SmartPad.
It's today?
Yeah, from today.
Oh.
It'll be 3 starting today, 1 next week, another one the other week.
So okay. Cool. So yeah, starting today, you can go get some information about that. Another thing that I thought was interesting, I actually saw them talk. I caught the end of their talk at NearCon. The Nifty. Oh, you're bringing up that. Okay.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, I skipped over it. But the Nifty comedians launched an NFT store on Near. I was kind of confused about like what the NFTs were. So I went to their store and it's basically like they minted like jokes and clips of their stand-up and stuff like that, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, that's something that I never would have thought would be like minted.
So it must be kind of like the NBA Top Shots. They have the NFT highlight reels of the dunk shots and whatnot. It must be the
exactly.
version of that.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a cool niche. And yeah, they have their store is live. So yeah, you can go check that out. Cool.
Yeah, so Ilya explained a little bit more in his tweet about what the deal was with bringing on John Smith. So a lot of current security practices in the space are limited. We see lots of expectations on users' attention, understanding of blockchain and the inner workings of protocols. So Near's position to provide simple, secure, and scalable blockchain for all, which means it's important to bring security expectations as the same in Web 2. I think this is a great sign. Probably actually underrated announcement, because this is the kind of thing that you don't pay attention to if it's good, right? If it's bad, then there's a hack and you hear about it. If it's good, you don't pay attention to it. And then I also thought this was funny. Matt, wasn't able to attend his Web Summit speech, so Ilya subbed in for him. Yeah, it was a pretty packed audience. I mean, this is good. This is really good in terms of like the interest in the ecosystem and just getting out there and kind of cutting out beyond the cryptoverse.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, tomorrow Matt's going to join us for IMO, in my opinion. So we can also ask him, what did we miss? What were you going to do for your presentation? Ask him about that.
Yeah. Nifty comedians. Here's the tweet you were talking about, Chloe. So they're launching NFT products. They have a full blog here. Trying to see which account. Yeah, so it came out on the Near Team blog.
You can go to their store and see. Some of them are like in the form of tweets, like their jokes are in the form of like tweets and. Yep.
Yeah. Let me see. Open Forest actually had a pretty good announcement so the other thing was they're at COP26 right now, and then this was. Yep. So I guess one of their team members is there. This is the day one connections, right? The Congo Basin Blue Fund, the Rwanda Green Fund, the Panama National Forest Restoration Program, and these guys, Kew Gardens, Botanical Gardens. It's a really good sign. And actually, Axios had a great article about how the world they had buy-in from like all the world's leaders to reduce deforestation by 2030, which is very bullish for what OFP is trying to do. In revaluing carbon. So yeah, great insights there. I mean, I think it's hard for someone to take in all at once, but like this is the Near ecosystem at COP26, right? So this is code on Near protocol that's going to be running with the people that they work with. It's all interconnected and it's a win for everybody when something like this happens. So we talked about Nifty Canadians. Oh, there's a talk about an official Chromecad release that's actually coming out, so it might be nice Twitter there, by the way.
Very big.
Yeah, Friday something is launching. Get hyped. So
announcement.
If you're unfamiliar with Chromecad, it's an automated function call service on Near. Basically, you can prepay function calls and then they'll execute them at the time when you need them. So it's a really cool product that doesn't actually exist in Web 3. It's only coming from Web 2, and the founders, Mike and Trevor, they basically built it because they knew it would be necessary in the blockchain space. We talked about the Pulse Farm. This rumor has it, right? Let's just clear some stuff here. Yeah, so rumor has it that Grayscale's filed for a Near Protocol trust. That's a good look. That's a good bullish sign of where this space is going. Yeah, and honestly, I think with just the current state of the market and the current growth of the market, it's probably, we're still at the beginning of this next climb up. Normally November, December are relatively bullish months, but it's just good for the space as a whole for this kind of exposure, no matter what the drop off is after the fact, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, any other thoughts on what's going on? Let's see. This is a little more complicated, a little more techie. I don't know, any other news that you guys have hearing from the pipeline, interesting things that are worth sharing or talking about?
No, I mean, I just want to touch back up on the Pulse farms. Like Pulse, we're going to see them tomorrow, right? Ethan from Pulse is going to come over. It's the prediction. It's the only prediction market on Near, and it's been around for a long time. They're under flux. That's going to be quite interesting. We can ask more about them. And what I really like is that not only do they have a farm, they have a farm where already with their Pulse ref farm, you can earn ref and Pulse as rewards. And then Pulse is being a reward for another farm, ref Near. So you can do triple rewards for one single farm. I mean, that's kind of juicy.
Juicy. Great.
That's exciting.
Yeah. anything, Sue, on your side that you guys are hearing up the pipeline? We're gonna try to get the Octopus guys on here because low key, yeah, DeBio's the IDO for DeBio's coming out, and honestly, I also think Octopus is like to some extent not fully appreciated, understood for what they're doing, what they're building. They're kind of like slow launching, but like there's only 100 million Octopus tokens, and they're gonna have the firepower of some fraction of what Polkadot's doing. And the current market cap doesn't reflect that at all. So I always tell people, take a second look at Octopus, do your due diligence if you're an investment fund, et cetera, et cetera.
Word on the street is they're about to get pretty serious about their Reddit operations. So look out for r/Octopus Network.
Someone in the comments said SmartPad sale is delayed.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. We'll wait for some news there. Okay, so today I want to get to the main show, actually. So, a lot of Web3 has been building, and, up until this point, there's been a lot of shilling and a lot of screaming about, mooning and getting rich off of products. We saw Chainlink do what it did, but Chainlink's, a good product. We've seen Cardano do what it did. We're seeing Solana do what it did. One guy that we're bringing on today, Peter, he's founder of Near Week. And basically I wanted to bring him on to talk about, the media angle of promoting not just the shilling parts of an ecosystem, but really like the quality innovation that, that needs to be shared with the rest of the world. Peter and the Near Week team are killing it. And he'll talk about it with how they're growing, with how fast things are evolving. But it's the beginning of a very strong new way of promoting crypto projects. And that's what we're going to talk to him about today. So without further ado, Peter, welcome to Rise and Grind.
Peter,
you're muted. You're muted, Peter.
Oh, hi guys, how's it going?
What's up, Peter?
What's up?
Oh, what's up? Nice hoodie there, Peter.
Yeah, really neat too. Where'd you get that?
I got it at a NearCon. Yeah. So I'm gonna share my screen and pull up the Near Week Twitter, and I think there's a couple of them. But maybe you can just start by sharing with everybody what was the idea behind launching Near Week, and what is kind of where are things at right now with news in the ecosystem, everything going on in the ecosystem? How are you finding covering the ecosystem?
So when I first started, it was back in April, I think. It was pretty easy, had 10, 20 links to include. And that was pretty much it for, I don't know, a month or two. And then things just started to explode and really expand. And ever since that, the Near ecosystem has not been looking back at all. It's as if, it's really pedal to the metal at the moment, and things are evolving extremely fast. And that's also why I went from being a one-man army to actually trying to engage the community more, because there are a lot of really highly engaged community members, right, who spend a lot of their time on Twitter, on different media, getting the latest news. So we came up with the idea to community source and reward people for bringing that on and sharing that knowledge, because what we essentially are trying to build is a content hub where it could be your first entry point to the Near ecosystem, where you have all the most relevant information across the ecosystem, and of course the newest and freshest information, right? So we try to wrap up every week. The idea came from Week in Ethereum. So the product, the webpage we still have now, is still the MVP, and we're currently having our website and our newsletter redesigned. We're looking into actually integrating a login with the Near wallet, so that you can basically, instead of going to the Sputnik DAO and having that all process with submitting links and stuff, you can you can just go to the webpage, log in, and provide all the information on the news you have, and trying to build sort of a community on that end, and making it easier for people to basically contribute. Because that's what I think is going to make a difference in the end, is having as much good input as possible only makes the product better, and rewarding all the Nearians out there that do a lot of work every day. It's just like a task that we really like, and hopefully, like, what we see is, and what we really want is also to start communicating, who are the people of Near. We want to onboard more people. Like, if we're about to hit mass adoption, how do we actually get more people to engage with this ecosystem? And if you ask me, like, crypto is still, like, it can be difficult for a lot of people to grasp. Like my mom and dad, they don't really understand it. And even like a lot of my friends, they're like, so what is it you actually do? And, you try to tell them and they're like, oh, it's a scam. So trying to like break down those barriers and tell more stories of like people of Near, like who are these people? And during NearCon, I must say, like, the ecosystem that I met, it was just so many fantastic people, so many exciting stories, so many different stories. Like, I met a developer who used to be a glass blowing artist, and I was like, whoa, so how did you start building code? Because blowing glass and writing code doesn't really seem to relate, right? And there are loads of these stories. So yeah.
Really, really cool. And so just real quickly, when did you guys start with Near Week? When did it actually launch? I think
it must have been like 7.5 months ago. So like, I think it was beginning of April, first week of April. Yeah. And yeah.
How have you guys found, obviously the Twitter looks great. You got almost 10,000 followers. How have you guys found that growth trajectory? Was it slow goings for the first month or two, and then after 3 or 4 months of consistency, it broke out? Was there interest right away? Did you have to kind of fight for it?
I would say that it was difficult in the beginning. It was a lot of, should we really keep doing this? Does it make sense? But then at the same time, we felt like we were filling a gap in the ecosystem, at least for ourselves. Like, that's the reason why we started doing it, because we're like, where do I find out all this information? You just ended spending up like a ton of hours on Twitter. And I hate Twitter. I love Twitter and I hate Twitter, right? And that's why we did it. And then like breaking through the first 1,000 was difficult. From there, it's kind of like you get more and more legit. And then from there, it's been various like marketing experiments, I would say, like experimenting with different giveaways and like doing a lot of partnerships. That's also what we really want to do. We want to highlight all of the good projects, or like all of the best projects on Near. So building a lot of partnerships across the ecosystem also helped us grow, doing different competitions. We had like a big run with Samtoshi where we did like this Master of the Nearverse NFT, which I think was pretty rad. And that's what people really like. Like, so NFTs are super hot at the moment. And then the logo we have currently, we made like an NFT giveaway and it just exploded. I think we had like an engagement of, 200K. Nice. Didn't expect that at all. And it grew from like 3,000 to 10,000 followers in no time, almost. So we're definitely going to try to do more of those experiments to learn from, so that we can help other ecosystem players market their products better, have people engage more with the platforms.
Do you mind if I ask, like, can we back it up a little bit and ask, how did you find out about Near, right? This was 7 months ago. The ecosystem definitely wasn't where it is now. How did you get into it? And you said you found a gap for Near Week. What is your own background that you kind of saw, oh, I see this niche, I could fill it? Like, where did that connection come from?
So I've been following crypto since maybe 2017, got in, and when the whole market like crashed, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay out of this, right? But I kept following on the side because I think the technology has like a massive, and we see it now, like massive potential, right? So a friend of mine, he started talking about Near, and he was like, this is, what they're doing here is like, the tech is sick, and there's been so much shilling about products, and you see the Shiba coin and the Dogecoin and protocols that have no technical value, right? You can't build stuff on them. And this guy, he was like, Near is a sick tech platform. It is super serious. And that's really what sparked my interest, because that's what I think is what it's all about, like having a rock solid technical fundament. And then I started looking into it and like their vision, they're carbon neutral as well. And the whole idea of being for the masses and being, like usability, right? That was really the two keywords for me. And from that moment on, I've been pretty deep down the rabbit hole, and I don't think I'll come up like for the next couple of months, at least the next couple of years, let's say.
I have two questions. One, who designed like the new logo and kind of like that rebrand? Was it just one person? Was it like a group effort, or like where did that idea come from?
So it's one person who also happens to be one of my really good friends. He studied 3D design, and he's been doing a lot of stuff in the fashion world. And I got to talk to him and said, like, hey, you should be doing some NFT stuff. You should get into the Web3. And then he just came up with like some iterations one day, and he made this logo, and I was like, that is sick. Let's try to bring it on, and people liked it.
Cool. Yeah. My other question was like, where do you like? Is there like going to be a next phase of Near Week? Or are you kind of just trying to keep it like consistently like what it is, or are you wanting it to grow to like become something else eventually? Or
so like at the moment, what I think will always be at the core is news, right? So delivering the best info and being able to communicate momentum. That's what I really want with Near Week, like making people understand why Near protocol is the shit without talking about price or anything, right? So being able to communicate momentum, I think, is really important. And then we're looking more and more actually at becoming sort of a how do you say, like a platform for showcasing your product or what you do. So helping like a lot of these great products highlight what they do, because a lot of them, they're really good at building products, but they don't know a lot about marketing. They don't know a lot about activation, right, or engagement. So actually actively helping them do that, and then make a lot of different partnerships across the ecosystem. So getting all these fantastic products to, collaborate, find out like what are the network effects of that, really to make people understand that as an ecosystem, we're going to grow, and we're going to do it a lot faster if we work together, right? That's another thing. And then what we really want to do is also to move into more high quality content. So doing more video, doing a lot more personal interviews, getting people like from the NECO to actually get to know people from all these interesting projects. So kind of like more like behind the scenes and showing who these people who work in crypto are.
And that's also part of the two projects that I want to mention is you're doing a podcast for a Near Weekend. So that will be a more in-depth, story-based, people-based kind of format that you're looking for. And the other thing that we noticed at NearCon was that you and your crew were going around doing interviews with people at NearCon. So could you tell us a little bit more about those two projects, and what can we expect from all of the NearCon interviews?
So during NearCon, I brought like two guys from the guild, and they did a lot of interviews at the venue, interacting with people. So really doing a lot of behind the scenes, because obviously a lot of people wasn't able to attend due to Corona or like the capacity, right? So making it more accessible. And then the other part was me and a videographer. We did like 25 or so interviews for the official NearCon videos. So the whole setting was like an informal chat and like a one-to-one, where I would ask these really interesting people such as Ozymandias or Rim Bibi about how you got into crypto, like getting to know your stories. And that's going to evolve into like, what happened is that the material was really great. The videographer who's doing the video really likes it. So we might actually do like a longer video, maybe a documentary on Near. And that's what we're looking into more and more doing, actually helping all of these great projects being better at communicating what they do through video, because we all know that people's attention span is not what it used to be. It's probably not gonna increase, right? So how do we tell all these stories? And I think video is a really great component there, and the format allows you to do a lot of other stuff which like articles and such doesn't, right? So hopefully we'll have like a really cool video in a few months. And then actually this guy is setting up a content hub in Zug in Switzerland. He bought a bunch of red cameras and is really keen to actually work more. The only issue there is that I'm Copenhagen based, so I need to find out if I should move to Switzerland or just go now and then, because it's definitely something that we see it could be a key piece in the industry that we could fill out.
You should move to Switzerland.
Is that where you're based, Sue, right now?
Yeah, check it out. Sorry, I don't mean to derail it, but we're in a very beautiful place. I don't know if you can see it.
Look at that.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's nice.
Anyway,
You can just live with Sue, basically.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to, when we were doing kind of this background, I think it's the categories of what you guys have on the Near Week site. And I know you said a new site's coming out, but these categories I think are super easy to understand, right? Big things around the ecosystem, Near's week by the numbers, that's super helpful. Transaction overviews. And then I think you have another section that was called like developers, like DAOs, DeFi. Yeah. So I really think that the way that you guys have this set up is super, clean and easy to have a look, easy to access. I think the thing that never ceases to amaze me is just how, at least right now, artificial the whole Web3 space is, insofar as like, the quality of the product of Near compared to a lot of these other shill products is equal, if not, superior in some cases. And yet there's still kind of like a lingering lack of, hyper euphoria around it. What do you, I'm opening this up to Peter, but also everyone else. What do you guys think is the way to make Near, relevant in the top 10 of CoinMarketCap? Because just looking right now, if I go to CoinMarketCap and I pull that up, this is, L1, that's the mother L1 ecosystem. This is a less than 3 years old L1 ecosystem. This is a 4 or 5 years old L1 ecosystem. That's the, branch off of the original mother L1 ecosystem. So there's another one. All of these L1s are crowding to the top because obviously there's an interest in smart contract platforms and the wide scope that they have, but yet Near, with all of everything it has to do for it, is still sitting at 38. That's like a factor of 4 on some of these, right? Well, what do you guys think is the way of kind of approaching this? Is this the kind of thing that we don't need to pay attention to and time will do its own thing? Or is this the kind of thing where we need to turn our marketing into overhaul and make sure that we become competitive with our narrative in line with other people?
So I definitely think that the whole marketing side needs kind of like a ramp up. And in general, I think we need to look across the ecosystem and help the ecosystem grow their quality. Like, it's graphics, it's text, it's everything. And we got a big ecosystem which can support this. So I think we should help like the whole ecosystem grow into something which people are familiar with at Web2. Like, you see the ways that Web2 pages are built, they should be easy to navigate, everything is just on point. I think we're still missing some of that user experience. And then I think what we're also missing is kind of like some really big sponsorships. I think what happened to Solana is also that they're heavily backed by FTX, right? And he's just promoting the shit out of it. And I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, right? But we also saw, was it Tesla's the other day making a partnership with McLaren? They're going to build their NFT platform. I think Formula One would be a great platform to actually move into, because it's all about tech and speed, and it's an insane sport, right? So I think we need to kind of like build those relationships also with onboarding maybe a lot of artists. Like, I hope that Satori is actually going to help this progress, and bringing on some of the major like names from music, right? To actually start making people aware of what Near is, because until then, I think we're gonna have a sick platform, but we need to kind of like break out of our own little bubble and be a little more like, hey, look at us, kind of. Because for now, I think we're very much a product first, which is good, but we also need to be aware of that it's it's a tough game out there, and people are making commercials with Matt Damon, as Jason Bourne, et cetera, and they're spending money, right? So I think we need to look into how we can actually do that better.
I agree completely with you. And I want to kind of rehash to everybody that, this was year one for Near. There was a lot of building that had to be done, a lot of like really fundamental things that had to be put into place in order for it to work the way it's working. As we enter year two, I expect a significant bump up in like how we're able to market and how we're able to strengthen it. But at the end of the day, and Rim, I'll let you in after this, but at the end of the day, it's the value proposition of Near is not one single thing of the Web3 stack. So it's not a DeFi chain. It's not a creator economy chain. It's going to be all of the above. And if you believe that composability is going to bring the most value to a crypto ecosystem, then Near is going to win in the long run. It's just going to take more time to get off the ground, right? It's like a bigger airplane taking off from the runway. It takes more time, more speed to get up there, but once it goes, it flies longer, farther, higher, better experience in the plane.
Yeah, and I think also what is going on with Aurora, I think a lot of people don't really realize how insane it is, what they're doing. The integration with Chainlink was, in my opinion, one of the missing links to actually really establishing itself and really be appealing to the whole ETH ecosystem. And I think that Aurora is gonna be gonna achieve major things which people don't realize at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on that note, I also want to, because Peter, you were talking a lot about how Near is very tech focused, it's product focused, and it's also just not one thing, like you say, Ozzy. And we need a lot of marketing on that front. And I think there are a lot of moving pieces within Near in the general ecosystem that are building that momentum. So on the one hand, we have that massive grant money that's pouring into the ecosystem. Just having a lot of money brings a lot of attention to the chain. And on the other hand, I want to give a shout out to Ross and Philip, the whole growth hack team. They're doing right now, they already started on the 1st, and they're doing for the entire month the Generation Crypto Marketing Competition. And the basic premise is that they're bringing on a bunch of non-crypto traditional marketing agencies and marketers. They're bringing them on into this hackathon, basically marketing hackathon, educating them about how to speak crypto, how to market to a crypto audience, how to understand crypto products, and then onboarding basically a new generation of marketers onto Near. So that's pretty bullish, because then those people, knowing how the space works, knowing what Near is, can already go out through all of these projects and provide the marketing services that they need. And then I think it's also a kind of long-term game, because while other products are focused on, doing Ponzi schemes, giving out liquidity incentives, that's the number one thing, or doing just focusing only on NFTs or marketing with Matt Damon or whatever, we're focusing on really fundamental stuff. Like we mentioned John Smith becoming the CISO for Near. We're really focusing on security. That's also the focus of Aurora, building out those Rainbow and Aurora Bridge that's focused on true decentralization and being permissionless. Those things people will only recognize their value once other chains or other things start breaking down, right? That's a focus that our value is really going to shine in the long run. And that might not be next month or next year, but it's something that is that cannot be shaken.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think we should make a pledge that a year from now we'll jump back on. We'll have the same talk about marketing and growing with Near, because it's actually astounding to me. We with Rune and I, we co-operate with Move Capital, kind of investment in the ecosystem as well. It is astounding to me how the money in the space is so sloppy in doing their due diligence of looking into what's actually happening in these ecosystems. I mean, Peter, you're on mute, by the way, but there is a huge opportunity vacuum here, where you come into the Near ecosystem, you can work with Near Week, you can, do work with any of the number of projects launching. There's almost no visibility really in the larger crypto space of what's going on. Everything's about to ramp up. Everything's about to explode. It's quality code, it's quality products. And for the life of me, we're all sitting here. We're like, where the hell is everybody? Right? They're all chasing Shiba Inu, right? Which is hilarious because Shiba Inu, I mean, who knows what the fuck's going to happen to that in 3 or 4 years. But, I would bet my money that a smart contracting platform like Near is going to be more durable and strong and more, lively than some random shit coin that has a, weak team of developers and as it isn't actually focused on building anything.
But that's also like, what is going to happen with all that value, right? With these shit coins, I don't know. Is it just going to flock somewhere, or it's going to be like a store of value? Like, I have a hard time figuring out is that money going to go elsewhere, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. You guys, I'm sure everyone followed the story of the guy who had $5.7 billion of Shiba Inu. He moved $3 billion of it off of the wallet, okay. So he's taken some profits. Yeah. Unbelievable, guys.
I would as well. I would do the same. I would basically take it all, I guess.
So Peter, I guess going forward, you guys also have a Discord channel, don't you?
Yeah, we have a Discord. We're trying to get it to live. Like we started to translate Nearweek into 6 different languages. So we're trying to make it more accessible. We want to be more educational. So currently it's Spanish, Chinese, Filipino, Vietnamese, Indian, and I forgot the last one. I think it's Indonesian. But anyway, we want to make all of the stuff accessible to a lot of people. And come join our Discord and help us out. Like, we need more hands. We need more people who want to help build out the platform. So yeah.
Awesome. Could you maybe, to wrap things up, tell us if anyone's involved, because this is a community source project, obviously, and you can get paid for contributing to Nearweek. Can you tell our audience, if they're interested in contributing, bringing some news to a Nearweek, how can they participate? What can they do exactly?
So the easiest would be to go to our webpage, like nearweek.com. In the very beginning of the page, just under a logo, there's like a brief description of how you can start contributing. That would be the easiest. Join our Telegram, join Discord, but definitely check out the guide. And then there's also a link to Medium, where we made like a one-pager on the first journey in our the first DAO step, the first step in our DAO journey. Sorry, and which pretty much describes like how you can start contributing. And then if anyone want to do what we're really looking into is actually also having people create community content. So we want to be able to tell the stories about how Near possibly is changing lives, or how is it affecting your everyday. So we heard a lot of stories about how Near Crowd, like Ilya talked about it, right? That Near Crowd was making people able to like quit their jobs and they could just live off filling out these tasks. Like, how is Near affecting you in a positive way, right? So I know that there are a lot of great stories from the Philippines, so we're in contact with them. So having like small podcasts or video shot, and then just share the ecosystem to let people know that that Near is really making a difference.
Right on. Well, Peter, thank you so much for jumping on these early days of Rise and Grind. We're looking forward to watching Nearweek flourish as the Near ecosystem flourishes, and I hope there's plenty of room for more collaborations and giveaways altogether. So.
Definitely. So yeah, reach out if you want to collaborate. We're all up for helping everyone out, and we're all about the ecosystem. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show, and looking forward to meeting you again. Already miss you guys. It was great to meet in Portugal. Yeah, hopefully it won't be another year.
We'll see you soon, Peter. Take care.
Peter. Thanks.
You too.
Thanks, Peter.
All right. So next up, we have Mansa Kieta here with Sue and them bouncing out. We're going to be discussing technical analysis as per the usual in the Near ecosystem. And I'm interested in getting into some of the charts today. Just as a recap with Mansa, none of this should be taken as financial advice. This is all opinion and just oversight of what's going on. So it's been a busy week, Mansa. Why don't we get into what's going on with Near? If you want to share your screen or open up TradingView, we can get off the ground there.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna share my screen real quick so we can start immediately. What is this? Grant access. Need to grant access to my browser. Wait, do you see my screen now? No, not yet.
No, it should pop up at the bottom here.
Wait, no. What is this? Wait, security. Wait a second. I'm just gonna check out. It's the security things, man. Like, it doesn't want to share my screen.
We're gonna cut all this later and meme you. So it's gonna be funny.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Can't wait for that. Okay, no, it should work right now.
Everyone's jumping on for the merchants. They want to see what the fuck's gonna happen with the price. You got to get this up, man.
Why is that working?
You just go into share at the bottom, and then you click
Yeah,
share screen.
I know. But it's like Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. Like, I don't have permission to screen recording. Yeah, it should be fine. I just
Here, I'm gonna remove you and add you again. So, Man Cicada is having technical difficulties as per the usual. No, it's not per the usual. Give it a look now. See if you can do something with this. I'm gonna mess with the different screens.
I'll be able to record it.
He's gone. Well, all right, I can do this. That's cool. Everyone knows technical analysis to some extent. So let me just pull up the near chart. Crazy week, guys, huh? Yeah, man, what a week. I think the good thing to keep in mind is like we're coming along. We're not where I need to be, but we're getting there. Number 38, market cap 5.6 billion, volume 24 hours 309 million. That's not bad. It's actually pretty good compared to some of the other projects. But yeah, it's been a good week. Let's just have a look. See if we can break down the chart. I'm waiting to see if V's come. Oh, we got it. There you go. Yo.
Yes, so I'm back. Let me put the screen real quick. You guys see it? Is it good?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Perfect. So
let's get into it. Yep, start talking.
I was talking about this in my analysis this week. But we see this one big and two small candles, but this is actually super great for near. I talked about in the first talk that we did about this W figure that we saw that the price will spike up after that, and that's exactly what happened. And now we've been 3 weeks like higher highs and higher lows, which means that we have a bullish momentum. And if I go like this is on the weekly side, so every candle is a week. But if we go back like on the daily side, what we can see is that the price went down a bit. But when we look actually at the volume right here, where I'm moving all that, right? So normally what should happen is that we see these 3 lines right here. As long as once one breaks one of these 3 lines, so comes above these 3 lines, we'll have a bullish momentum again. We had the previous days quite some volume that we see on these on this chart right here, but it's nothing compared to what we saw in September. And this is basically the main takeaway that I want to have today is compared to I had a chart right here. Oh, it's gone. So we have the alt season here, and if this is the one I wanted to show. So this is the total alt cap right now in 2021, and this is where we are right now compared to 2017. So compared to 2017,
what up? That's fucking crazy.
Low. Yeah, we're pretty low compared to 2017. This is like where it flattened basically. So when you see, like, obviously 7.2 trillion is a lot of money. I'm not sure that that's going to be like the thing where we're going to go. However, I'm this is basically what awaits us right now. So, I mean, you know, Ozzy, you were mentioning that Near had was number 38, and right here, I mean, it's in euros here. Let me change it into dollars. Right here. So you were mentioning that Near was number 38 with like 308 million. And what the only reason why I really like this is the fact that if we're only number 38, that just means that we have room to grow and go up. And you guys were mentioning about like what's going to happen with Dogecoin and Shiba, for example. My take is that what's going to happen is like that money will go somewhere eventually. Like coins that are not based on utility, like Near, for example, there are coins that are not based on utility. So Shiba and Dogecoin are not based on utility. Like they're just based on value and just nothingness, just nothing.
Financial speculation.
Yeah, exactly. It's just casino. It's basically going to the casino. That's what Shiba and Dogecoin are. What's going to happen is that money will need to go somewhere eventually. And what is it going to be on the end of the bull market or just before? I don't know. But I just know that money will go to like more potential coins here down below. They will not necessarily go to Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that because they already are pretty like huge. But like they will go eventually like to these regions right here. This is why I think that like Near, like outside of the fact that Shiba and Dogecoin people will go on there, like that's why I think Near still has some room to grow, and it's actually a great position to be here before everything goes crazy. That's like my little.
Can I just add something real quick? Yeah.
So yeah. Go on.
So like keep that. Actually, can you back to the other screen with the total? Markets? Yeah. Compared to 2017.
Oh yeah. Okay, this one here.
Yeah. Okay. So this is, I think, like the thing that people forget. So in 2017, you had every project under the sun telling you that they were going to like build something that was going to change an industry or change something, and it was going to have a huge value impact. The number of developers actually building on the ecosystems was pretty minimal. The number of outside value disconnected from the token itself was pretty minimal. And when I look at where we are right now in this cycle, you think about NFT marketplaces, you think about DAOs, you think about gaming, right? Those are things that are not, are not strictly connected to this like hype cycle, let's pump the coin and then let's sell at the top kind of mentality. This brings people in, it brings financiers in, it brings developers in, brings people into the ecosystem, regardless of even looking at the price action, right? So what I think everybody needs to be like 100% honest about is that this time is very different if you're looking at who's actually building on these L1s. There's some products that are full of shit, right? But some L1s like Near actually have a lot of really good builders, a lot of developers building for the long haul, 1, 2, 3 years, that are going to bring in a bunch of people from the outside. And the perfect example of this that I'll give just for quick before you go back to your analysis is with Open Forest, right? Open Forest is going to basically launch a decentralized carbon accreditation system. When that goes live and carbon credits, OCCs, the carbon credits of the Open Forest protocol are minted on chain, the people buying those things are not going to be financial speculators, right? But that OCC is connected to the OPN crypto economy. So literally we're witnessing this emergence of, we're leaving behind this pure speculative world of financial bullshit. We're entering this new middle world where it's like you got some financial bullshit, you got some actual value coming in from the outside, and we're going through this transition. So you can bet on the fully financially speculative, world still if you want to. It's early enough that you'll probably make a buck and be fine. But for the long haul, for the long term, I have no doubt that it's going to be ecosystems like Near, I've heard great things about Terra, Ethereum, obviously, although they got that gas problem. Probably Solana, although they're still more on the financially speculative side of things. This is where the value is going to accrue in the long haul. So if you're new to the crypto space and you're investing macro, you're investing fundamental, you cannot miss near. You just can't do it. I mean, you're actually, it's fucking ridiculous if you miss near. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, 100%. And to add to what you're saying is it's exactly that. 2017, like you just had to put your money on anything and it would go up and like it was fine and it was purely speculative. And right now, for example, when we look at like the charts, this is something that I want to emphasize to people. Like real traders, real people that like want to go and make money, they look at the tokenomics of the tokenomic side of the things, because that's the first thing you should look before investing in anything. That's basically like the most important piece of information that you need in order for you to invest, because that's where you know what the token is going to be used for. And with these like shit coins that go up, like the use of these tokens is just like yeah, quote unquote value. But like what's gonna happen, like Ozzy already said, is like they're gonna just dump it on you and it's over. Like we're not gonna hear hear of them like in 5 years. And you have to look at Near and Ethereum and all these big players as like the Facebooks and the YouTubes and like the big corporations of tomorrow, because that's the world where we're shifting right now. So I totally agree with you, Ozzy, on basically right now we're investing in value, and not only in value but in utility. And this is what it's all about, the utility of the token. Like the Ocean Protocol thing is going to be huge, not because it's speculative, but it brings value into the ecosystem, and that's what it's all about. So this was for me just a very interesting chart to look at, because this shows you like the potential of this market. And there's a lot of people saying, "Oh,
it shows you where we are and where we're going." I mean,
where we are. And yeah, this is September, October sideways, and this is 2022. Like my prediction, like it's a humble prediction, but my prediction is that the end of 2022 is kind of going to be the end of like the big cycle, because like right now all people are predicting like between 100 to 200k Bitcoin, but before going there we'll need to go like down and up and down and up, and then we'll eventually go there. I really believe so, and that's purely going to be at the end of the cycle. And $10,000 like Ethereum will be there as well. I mean, these is just like based on data analysis, and it's nothing like, it's not rocket science. So for me Near is just like this huge sleeping giant, like they call it. It's and it's only been there for a minute. So I want to focus Near like BTC chart, because this is what I like to look at, and this is what's happening right now. So in September, like when Near went out like crazy, like this was what the chart was looking like. So the fact that the green means that Near was outperforming Bitcoin, so there was more value in Near. Like it was better to hold Near here and throughout the whole thing than to hold Bitcoin, because you would have had, if you had held Near, you would have had more Bitcoin in anyways, if you would go switch back to Bitcoin, if you would put your Near into Bitcoin. This is what happened also here in October. And what you see here is something that just will come back. Like it all started in August 2021. And in my opinion, this is exactly what's going to happen. And why do I have this prediction? Is because I look at the BTC, right? This is the biggest metric that I watch. And let me go on a weekly, because then you're going to be able to see it here. So at this point here in 2017, Ethereum had almost 30%. Well, I mean, was almost 30% of domination on Bitcoin, which means that like what happened here was that Ethereum was more worth than Bitcoin.
It's strengthened against Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's getting stronger. And right here, so this is where we are right here. We are at this point where
there will be a decision making time where Ethereum will like go like this again, or it will go down. And the way I see it, and the way what is already happening in this space, is that like all these layer ones outperform Bitcoin basically. And I don't think it's over. Like, I think it's just the beginning. This is why I think in general, all these coins will outperform, all these layer ones will outperform Bitcoin big time. And it's not showing right now, but like this chart is so bullish. Like we see all these little W's forming. And I always said that like these W's means that at some point, the price will spike up and we'll see like a huge money flooding into the markets. And like right now, Ethereum is almost at 5K. Once that's going to happen, then it will be all over the news again. And then what's going to happen? People are going to start investing again in Ethereum. So my big prediction is that, yeah, in this and a few months, all these layer ones will definitely outperform Bitcoin, and Near will definitely be one of them for sure, 100%.
So I think it's important, because we're closing up here, and I'll let you get back to Near Bitcoin in a sec. It's important just to reiterate what you said, right? Compared to the previous runs, next 2 months looking good. Would recommend hodling strong on Near, and for that matter, a lot of the rest of the crypto market. I think honestly, what this makes me think is that like there's this huge opportunity to market to these Dogecoin, Shiba coin holders, that of what to do with their money as the price goes up, and where to put it next if they make a fuck ton of money off of the rise of this like speculative euphoria. Yeah. That's something actually interesting. What we should talk to the Near growth team about, because running those kind of ads targeted to Shiba Inu Twitter people and to Reddit and things like that would probably help a lot, bring some of that value into this ecosystem. So anyway, let's close up here with the Near Bitcoin.
Yes, just to close on the Near BTC side. Well, we're seeing like the first part of the W forming here. So which means that the price will go down again eventually, which we'll see some strength of Bitcoin coming back. But then afterwards, like we've seen on the Near USDT side, just right here, like the W formed, and we had like this huge spike up. This is exactly what's going to happen on the Near BTC side. So if you wanna be on the right side of history, if you want to be on the right side of history, and you want to be remembered as one of the people that like creates generational wealth, well, Near is definitely the place to be, of course, 100%. And it has nothing to do with the fact that like I love Near so much. I think it has more to do with the fact that like I talked about the tokenomics. I think this is something that we should talk next time about, like the tokenomics of a project and how to like spot these different and look at these different projects in a different light than only the price, because the price is only one indicator of like the whole thing, because market cap and the supply of the tokens or the coins that are in circulation is another side of it. So this is my main takeaway of the market right now. BTC is super bullish right now. It will still go up a bit, and Near is just consolidating and waiting for this next wave of price to go in. This is the chart, like to highlight that. So it's only going up and up and up, and we're just waiting right now for the price just to consolidate a bit. It wouldn't be a bad thing to go back a little bit down, which is completely normal. These are just normal market conditions, but just be ready, because once it's off, because what we've seen right now of bullishness is nothing like compared to what's going to happen. Like it's going to happen. Like now is the time really to pay attention and don't miss the boat, because it's
the funny thing, I mean, the funny thing that I always liken it to is like, we saw the Grayscale Trust that they are considering listing Near. Yeah. Think about how much money has not entered this space yet, right? Yeah. The trust funds, the family offices, the retirement funds, all of all of this money from the traditional economy is looking for value. Near is a blue chip, FANG-like product of this new Web3 space, right? So you say, oh, I got Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. I got a good selection of Web2. there's no way that you have a good selection of Web3 without having Near inside of it, especially considering the fact that you get your staking return in virtue of just holding, your Near token. So if people can exercise a little bit of patience, play the long game here, and kind of have a sense of what's coming, what's actually being built, and how quality the product is, we're in a very, very good position for the long haul. We just got to sit tight and make sure that things start building. That's why I always tell people, like, you can affect how these ecosystems grow. So put your time and energy and effort into working to make this happen, because then everybody will win much faster if everyone's taking the time to try to, do their part in promoting it or bringing people from the outside into this space. So any closing thoughts on your side?
Yeah. Just to close the whole thing. Historically, November, December are like bad months for investments, because the Christmas period is coming. People won't have money to invest. Like, that's historically what happens. And normally when the markets start like to flourish again, like when people like came back from vacations, the new year, January, February, March are usually great months to for the market, like where you see the price going up again. This is what happened last year as well. I think that we're not necessarily going to have a 2017 run, but we're going to have something similar to last year, when the price went, like, I think Ethereum went from like $500 or $200 to like where it is now. So it's super early, guys, but you got to be ready. You got to be ready, because once it's up, it's up, and you gotta follow on. This is the main takeaway. So see you next week, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow, and see you, Mansakeda, next week. Thanks for hopping on.